It's 11:03. Everybody's all backed up like me. Busy covering 2 rallies today so far. And there's going to be a third one at right close to me right now. Because basically what they're going to do is they're going to rally about a lot of cameras. Let me see. I think they tourists. Yeah, those are tourists, sorry. So they're going to have a rally about the Daily News. They're going to introduce, I think, a bill, something like that, for the Daily News. I support Daily News. I should support Daily News. I should watch their everyday stuff, so they got some good articles. Shout out to Chris Sommerfeld. Free Chris. But yeah, yeah, they're a rally at Foley Square with the Daily News Guild. So Daily News Guild, basically the union for the Daily News. So basically in a nutshell. Man. Sorry about that, guys. Man. So you have a few people here. You have Brad Landers people. Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? Brad Landers people. You have Carmen De La Rosa. Then you have Julie Menon, our next speaker. So it's going to be a good amount of people here today for this rally. They have Tiffany Caban is here. This actually give a shit. This is something I care about, by the way. So
You made it. No, you're good. You're good. No, you're good. You did great.
8:14. Huh? Yeah, I'm live streaming. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. All right, cool. Got you. No problem. Yeah, I'm live streaming, guys. Live streaming on. Sorry about that.
Why don't all the people in red shirts go?
Oh, go up right now.
Skin blue. Sorry.
If you're wearing a red shirt, go up front.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Right.
Am I looking at the red?
Anyone in red, yeah.
I'm taking video, so I'll be back here.
I gotta get my statement. Oh, yeah.
Brad Lander.
Yeah, here we go. Now we're really talking.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Carmen De La Rosa. I'm the Labor City Council, and we're here because we are introducing today our two side resolution in support of the Daily Union and the workers. Give it up for that. Yay. Before we start talking about the resolution, I want to give some shout outs for folks who are here. Obviously, we've been joined by my wonderful colleagues, Councilmember Louis Bennett, who's here, Councilmember Tiffany Caban, who's here, and Rebecca Lynch from Brad Lander's office, our comptroller. We also have labor in the house, because this is about solidarity. So I want to shout out the CLC who's here, CWA who's here, and of course, the new skills workers who are here. So, we have a rally. We talked about the council coming in and introducing this resolution. And today is the day where the resolution will be introduced. And so we thought it would be important to come out and talk about why it's meaningful for the council to take a very strong position against the exploitation of workers. First of all, we know that we are fighting an employer that is a venture capitalist firm, Alden Global Capital. And what they have done to the workers at Newsweek is inhumane, is against the democratic principles of free press, and goes against the will of these workers that have kept the Daily News alive. The Daily News is our hometown paper. And as New Yorkers, we like to say that New York is a union town. So how can we sit back and be silent when a venture capitalist firm is exploiting the very workers who make our news possible? That's not right. And so today we're taking a stand. We're making sure that we're sending a message. The newsroom has been reduced to just 65 journalists covering 8.5 million people. That means that there isn't an accessibility to news across the city in the way that we should have. We know that if we want to make sure that democracy stands, the free press is a critical partner between that. And so we're joining the New Skills of New York and Local 31003, CWA, to say the workers deserve, hear this, very radical, fair wages and a cost of living raises in the richest and most expensive city in the world. Job protections and benefits for part-time staff. Security against permanent subcontractors. And standard benefits like, wait till you hear this, paid leave and retirement. Really, the basic needs of workers should be met in order for them to do the job that they love to do. You'll hear from the news group, you'll hear from the daily news workers, but what I've gotten from conversations from them is that they love the work they do. And because of that love, not only for the work they do, but for our city and for the rights of the press, they continue to exist and not thrive in conditions that are far below what they deserve. And so the city council has a job to do. We have to send a strong message that if you want to do business in our city, you must treat workers with dignity and respect. And they have to feel it in their pockets. That's right. And so with that, I am so excited to bring up Susan Carva, the president of the New Skills of New York. Woo!
Thank you so much, Councilmember De La Rosa, for introducing this resolution. And thank you to all the other council members who are standing here, Brad Lander's office, CWA, with all of our members who are really kind of fighting, as you heard the councilwoman say, a very basic fight. We're not like Alden Global Capital. We don't have multiple homes in Hamptons, in New York City, out in all of the richest area codes of our state. What we have, zip codes of our state. What we have are real New Yorkers who are struggling to cover the city that they love, who are struggling to make sure that the voice of the workers who make this city that we love actually function are heard, who are struggling to make sure that there is always someone there to ask the important questions, to hold power to account. We have seen authoritarianism rise across our country. We've seen it on a federal level, and unfortunately, we're seeing it here too. How dare the mayor of the city ban a reporter for doing his job of asking questions? This is what we do. The members of the Daily News Union do their job out of a sense of mission, out of a sense of responsibility, and out of a sense of love for this great city. For 106 years, reporters at the Daily News have carried out that mission, and we are not about to let it die because Hampton Heath wants to put more money in his pocket than in the pockets of the people that made him that money in the first place. We are committed to this fight. We're fighting for a fair contract. We're fighting for living wages. Our members do not want to have to apply for low-income housing to do their job. They don't want to have to take a second job to subsidize the one they already have. But they do, because they care. They care more about this city than Alden Global Capital does, than Hampton Heath does. That's my nickname for Heath Freeman. The leader of Alden Global Capital, who has really kind of set out this agenda for Alden Global Capital to hollow out New York's hometown newspaper. And so we're here today with our members from the Daily News Union, from all of our supporters across labor in New York City, because New York is absolutely a union town, to say not on our watch. We are here to fight for a fair contract. We're here to fight for fair wages. We're here to fight for basic necessities like paid time off and the ability to retire. But mostly we're here because we're New Yorkers and we believe in what our hometown newspaper does. It tells our stories. And they deserve so much better than what they're getting from Alden Global Capital and Hampton Heath. So let's be really clear. We are not giving up. We are not giving up. We are not giving up. We are fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for workers, and we are fighting for New York City. And no one can take that away from us because we won't fight. We won't finish fighting until we win.
That's right.
Woo!
Always so powerful. Thank you. Fire. Bringing the fire. Up next, we have Teresa Bay, who is the Daily News National Desk breaking news reporter and a member of the union's bargaining group.
Louder.
As Councilman De La Rosa said, I'm the breaking news reporter on the national desk for 7 years.
Yes,
My team's job has largely been on the digital side, with some of our stories getting in a print edition. We were always on the lookout for fresh tabloid news happening across the U.S. Nowadays, largely on the web-state area. As if New Yorkers aren't interested in reading anything outside their town. What's trending is more and more opinions online. When I started, there were 18 people on my team. Today there are 9. A few weeks ago, 1978 version of Superman the movie popped up on my team. There suddenly was a sailing planet. Well, I haven't run it in 5 years. I felt the pang. The days on 33rd Street were long gone before my tenure started in late 2018. But there was some of that flavor left, and I wanted to take it. Editors and print, designers, yell front page headline ideas to each other across the grid. flash forward a decade, and I wasn't even reimbursed for all my office equipment home in 2020. A corner of my living room now basically belongs to my employer. He pays nothing toward that either. Nowadays, my office life is two-dimensional, relegated to communications on Slack. Because mine is a desk job, I'm changing my time it's not a like it's discouraging to work in a place with ghost workers who won't even deign to meet their owners' passionate lining their boxes. It is so apparent that the principals of all the global capital don't feel publicly. Likewise, Bill, the executive editor they hired, refuses to show up at party tables, leaving us with zero editorial representation on the website. It's just us, the HR person, who seems more interested in spreading management and our actual HR needs. The company's union employer. That is where all the that is where all the they had invested that into the imagine what our enterprise would look like together. Indeed, the company has done the opposite, actually cutting some of our salaries in 2020 as all of the startup capital. My pay decreased by about $1,400. I calculated recently that in 5 years since the presumably the pandemic, the data was much longer. It was about $7,000. And I was up to the low end of the side of much longer than I was often raised. As for me, I'm earning less than when I started, which is essentially working for while in contrast, it's outgoings all the time. $2.5 million package. Some of that was my money, definitely. Alden is now the second largest owner of average daily food circulation right now, and which also talked about in 2019. Hedge fund conglomerate, each burning ranks, homogenized coverage, and sacrificing there was one difference between these two numbers that one of my colleagues was talking about, and that conducts something like media. All was not. Rather than bringing return on investment, a hedge fund has its revenue extracted resources. Last year, Silver Downers printing expenditures of $60 million. It still has nothing to offer us that wasn't doing although Alden and its subsidiaries are private, the Newman Lab at Harvard University needs to be operating margin for fiscal 2017 and $160 million. It obtained that by chipping away the very souls of investors and entertainers. We at the Daily News led by attrition. In addition to their newsroom, we have no politics editor, no bona fide city editor, and no all-people New York City's hometown paper uses wire copy to cover our own state government. After that slogan became the Daily Museum's rallying cry, our executive editor suddenly thinks that to read New York's election newspaper. No visible plans on how to make that happen. Against this backdrop, negotiating with Alden's minions feel like sitting at Hannibal Lecter's dinner table discussing whether there was salad. In April 2024, Alden shut down 8 one that was 106 years old, and another that was 140, according to the Center for Transformative Media. A report released last month showed that the number of local journalists in 100,000 residents had declined like 75% since 2002. Back then, there were about 40 journalists in 100,000 residents. The crisis, of course, here in widespread York City has 27.3, some of the highest in Suffolk County. There are 49. People need trustworthy news sources, staffed by people who are taught how to find and vet information from us, who are dedicated to informing people and introducing them to things they may not have realized they needed to know. We relish crafting a narrative from a pile of facts, and we want to draw attention to stories and people that may not be on the wider public's radar. We do this much less effectively without proper resources and a contract that guarantees fair wages and sensible benefits. So thank you all for coming and for your support.
Thank you for giving us a bird's eye view of what the plight of the workers has been. We appreciate you telling us, telling New York City your stories and up next, we're going to bring down Sean from the Central Labor Council. This is all about solidarity with our workers at the Central Labor Council. It's an important partner in Sacramento.
Absolutely. Good morning to everyone except for union busters, scabs, and union crashers. My name is Sean Mackel. I'm with the New York City Central Labor Council, representing over 1 million workers across New York City, including the News Guild of New York and the Daily News Union. And we stand in solidarity with these workers, fighting for a fair contract, but not just fighting for themselves. They're fighting for journalistic integrity. And we appreciate the work of Councilmember De La Rosa and all the members of the City Council that are putting this forward, fighting alongside these members to make sure that their story is told. New York needs its hometown paper, and we deserve a paper that functions, gives us the information we deserve. These workers deserve a fair contract, they deserve respect, they deserve the wages and benefits that they're asking for. At least like this paper. They need to do a lot better. It needs its hometown paper, and I'm glad to stand. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Now we're going to invite Rebecca Lynch to have some words from our comptroller. And Councilmember Brewer is here. And Gail often carries the Daily News with her. This is not
Hi, my name is Rebecca Lynch. I work in the Workers' Rights team for New York City Comptroller Brad Lander. I want to start out by acknowledging that we're here today, the day after the mayor vetoed some legislation bringing wages for some workers in our city. And in his statement vetoing this legislation, he tried to pit workers against the public, against customers, saying that paying a fair wage to workers would disadvantage folks in this case buying groceries. And I mention that because it's an argument that we hear quite a lot, that we have to choose between not exploiting workers and protecting the public. And I think what we all here know is that actually it's always the opposite that anything. Always the opposite. And that's true for our schools, it's true for building our skyline, it's true for the New York Daily News. And why is it the opposite? I think there's two reasons. One, where there's smoke, there's always fire. And if someone is exploiting workers, if a hedge fund is gobbling and gutting users, they're not just harming the workers, they're harming the infrastructure, they're depriving resources, they're making it very impossible to be part of the free press that we all rely on. The second reason is that it's the workers who do the work. That there is no New York Daily News without the journalists, without the office workers, without people who make the newspaper run. And so, I wanted to bring that to this conversation. There's a lot of labor support here across solidarity. But the second thing I want to say is we're here together at an existential moment for the New York Daily News, a real tipping point. And it also happens to be an existential moment for our country. And you cannot de-link those two things. And I think there's been a lot of really good and important attention on the ways that the federal government is attacking the free press, defunding PBS and NPR, cowing CBS into submission, attacking individual journalists. But I think there needs to be just as much attention on the way that hedge funds and the capitalist class are harming our free press as well. And that these two things are going hand in hand. And there's so much conversation, that we've been having and will continue to have about freedom of the press, about academic freedom, and about the need to not obey anything. And, I think I'll just close by saying, we want to sit in this moment and think about who do we want to be as this country is in this existential crisis, as we teeter on the edge of something we haven't seen. And I think we want to be people who side with journalists, who side with freedom of the press, and that's why I'm so proud to be here today under the leadership of Councilmember Rosa and the amazing things
the point of the council sending this message means that all of us, council members, are locked into this fight. So I want to bring Council Member Julie Bannon, and then we'll hear from the Gail Group.
Thank you so much. I really want to thank my colleague Carmen De La Rosa for introducing this incredibly important resolution, and I want to thank all of our friends who make our community use the old and see every day. I chair the Historic Protection Committee in the City Council, and as I was walking over here and was thinking about the daily news, I've literally worked with it for 24 years. 24 years ago was the first time I worked with the daily news, and I will tell you one particular story because I think it encapsulates why it is so important that we stand up for the workers in the daily news and make sure that they get the newsroom, that they have the raises, that they get family leave, and all the things that we are here today fighting for. 24 years ago was 9/11, and I lived a couple blocks away from here, right near what is now Ground Zero. I owned a small business that was absolutely devastated on 9/11, and it was really, I remember working with the daily news. I chaired for 7 years after 9/11. The daily news was there calling out the EPA. We all stayed in Lower Manhattan. First responders came here. We all as residents stayed here. And it was the daily news with article after article saying the air was not safe to breathe. Federal government had told us to stay, didn't tell us to wear any protective equipment. We had workers on the pile at Ground Zero day after day, many of whom now have cancer, many of whom have died. But the daily news that support the state, that our watchdog in New York City, was constantly calling out the federal EPA and telling us that that was not true and that the air was indeed not safe at all and that we needed protective equipment. So I really want to thank the daily news for always being there, being the watchdog, being that member of the city, being that for the state.
City Council member on the Upper West Side, and I am a subscriber for I don't know 100 years to the Daily News, and I think it's my absolute favorite paper. And I have to say, without your city home bureau, none of us will be able to survive. No matter you talk about other things, whatever the hell the mayor said about Chris, I disagree. And I think he's one of the greatest reporters ever seen. He deserves you. I mean, literally, with all due respect to my colleagues and to the mayor, the fourth estate is more important than the mayor, the city council, and the judiciary. We absolutely cannot live without it. And when it says hometown paper, we need local journalism more now than ever.
Yes.
And I just want to say I want you to get more money. I want you to get all the benefits that you deserve. Plus, because we want that paper to be 100 pages full of information about our city. And I just want to say that this, I know they had something there about like the cover stuff. I think that was from the Poland. I've never been to East Hampton, but I know he has restaurants there. I'll be glad to bring the rat there with me. My friends have already emailed me that they have rats. They're ready to go. So I'd love to go to East Hampton with you and the rat. Because he has much too much of his own ego and insanity. Somebody like that should not be in trouble. Go do something else. Stay with your hedge fund. Stay with whatever else you want to do. But get your damn hands off of the news. I'm just here to say thank you to all of you. Really, none of us can live without you.
That's why we love Gail Group. So the resolution is live today. We're asking colleagues to support the resolution, but more than support the resolution and put your name on the resolution, let's bring some shade to Alden Capital so that they understand that the cost of doing business in our city means that we will demand that they treat our workers with dignity and respect. And that dignity and respect starts with wages, starts with fair treatment, and starts with respecting the people who are making your bottom line at Alden Capital. So thank you all so much for being here. Look forward to getting this passed.